briefly want to explain why the right-hand side of the aisle was less apt to believe the wolf of the coronavirus. There are a couple reasons. Number one, the mainstream media has for the last several years been titillating, been propagating misinformation, and been begging for clicks and revenue. Everything is anti-Trump, anti-right, sensationalistic news garbage. And I stopped listening. It's at first, everybody is sitting there on their toes because the New York Times is reporting something. Oh my God, hate crime, Justice Smollett, hate crime, Covington kids, Russiagate, all these things we give credence to. Eventually, our meter starts to burn out. You keep revving the engine and we stop working. We stop paying attention. The Times has committed journalistic malfeasance. It's clearly biased. I mean, even with Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks, for whatever reason, they tried to promote a leftist as having stated that David Duke was not a racist and in support of him. Is something very abhorrent. So one of the main reasons is we just got tired of the media calling wolf. So they say wolf, 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 and I'm so reluctant to look over my shoulder because I've been fooled so many times. The boy who cried wolf. I mean, maybe there's a wolf right behind me right now called COVID-19 snarling at me, ready to pounce. And I still am reticent to look over my shoulder. That's reason number one. Number two, there's an optimism bias that we have, especially like the entrepreneurial types, such as myself. We have to overcome so many obstacles that telling me about COVID-19, it registers as just another hurdle that we have to clear. Not that big a deal. When everybody else is telling us doomsday scenarios for our businesses, for what we want to accomplish, we just have to ignore those, because if we took those into account on a regular basis, we could never achieve, because most people have a cannot do attitude. We have a can do attitude because the COVID-19 does appear to be the wolf that the media has been creaming in their pants about. They finally have their wolf, and we've been ignoring it. We still have this optimistic bias that this is not going to affect me. And I'm not saying that's necessarily rational. We have to be able to slow down and merely take in the facts as such. But in order to succeed, we have a certain psychology that doesn't lend itself to taking in all the facts that might be against us, that people throw at us, that want to prevent our success. So again, we just think of this as another obstacle to overcome. Lastly, a lot of people on the right-hand side of the aisle live in more rural lands. They're less likely to be affected because they don't come in as close proximity to people. So for that reason as well, perhaps we don't necessarily take it as much of a threat as people that live in dense cities who generally tend to vote liberal, or not liberal, Democrat. Love my liberals, hate my leftists. Let me just also add the fact that I believe that there's going to be a huge buying opportunity here in terms of getting rich. If the market continues to fall as precipitously as it has, I'm not saying that right now is the correct time to hit the dry powder button and expend it, but if you have any cash, then you really don't have to time it perfectly. As my friend Alex would say, you just have to hit the side of the wall, and eventually things will start climbing back as we overcome this. I'm huge on human ingenuity. I'm very big on the fact that the RN factor is decreasing. RN factor being the number of people that each case will then subsequently infect. As awareness grows, as we practice self-isolation, the RN number will decrease pretty dramatically, actually. And this is one of the reasons why the geometric growth that's been predicted in some models is probably incorrect. And also, I do believe that eventually human beings will come up with something. And remember that the number of cases, the death rate, is not being described accurately because the denominator, the number of actual cases that you're dividing by, are only the known number of cases. And there are many, many people that are asymptomatic and that exhibit no signs, in other words, of having the COVID-19 virus. So the number of people that are actually going to die from it, the true percentage, will be much, 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 much lower than what is currently being exhibited by the mainstream media, who once again are creaming in their pants because the wolf is finally here. They've been begging for this wolf. They're so excited. Go mainstream media. You finally have your wolf. Good job. Not that we don't think that you're biased at all. Not that we think that you're honest. But yeah, okay, this time you got your wolf. I'm still not paying attention next time. Peace and blessings to everybody. If you like this, get something out of it, share it, subscribe, and like it. Peace. Have a great day.